Facebook is always active throughout the class, so I do not wait at any point to ask, are you still there? Can you still hear me? And so on. I want to be sure that you're always there. So if you would like to be our class captain, kindly type captain in the chat box and make sure you do your duty. Your primary duty is typing in the chat box and making sure everything is going on well. So when I check the chat and I see people typing, there is no need for me to ask, are you still there? Can you still hear me? So I want class captains who are ready to hold the class. I want them to type in the chat box. All right, type captain, captain, captain in the chat box. Captain, just one captain? Jean, don't you want to be a class captain? Pepe, is that your name? Oyelaki Olubumi. I want about 3 to 5 captains. Why aren't many people joining us? Is there a problem? This is unusual. It's not as active as I want. It's not my usual class. The present participants aren't hitting the chat box. And I'm bored without even getting started. Captain, okay, so we have 2 class captains on Telegram. Nothing is happening on Facebook. Nothing is happening on Facebook. Why is nothing happening on Facebook? I need the Facebook to be active as well. I want you to type captain, captain in the chat box if you would like to join us till the end. Just type captain. So as I speak, the only thing you need to do, you're not doing anything difficult. The only thing you need to do is to ensure that the chat box is being heated throughout the session. Let me share on my page. Captain, what's happening on Facebook? Type captain in the chat box. Okay, we have captains like 3 to 4 on Telegram already, but there's nothing happening on Facebook. Okay, let's continue. I do not want to waste the time of those who came early, so I'm going to get right into the session. All right, before we get started, what is my name and why are we here? Let me start recording. Communication mastery for kids. All right. What is my name and why are we here today? I am Abdul Baki Hassan, the founder of Flying Colors Communications Academy. We have inside Flying Colors Communications Academy, we have an online kiddie school where we teach children between 4 and 17 effective communication skills. We teach them how to become fluent speakers, effective communicators, active listeners, fluent presenters, amazing individuals, confident people, people who have high self-esteem, who can talk about a lot of things, who are globally exposed. These are the things that we do inside Flying Colors Communications Academy, and we've gotten over 3,000 children from about 15 different countries, different parts of the world. What are we doing differently, and how do we ensure that these kids become amazing people? These kids get the results that we actually have for them. There are lots of schools. You may have the project, you may have the objectives, you may have the intention, and still not get what you want. And that's it. That's the fact. It requires a level of intentionality before saying, oh, I want this child to understand this, I want my learners to achieve this, and they achieving them. They're two different things. Hoping is something, becoming is another thing. So today I want to put you through how to ensure that your children become communication masters, people who can speak well, who can write error-free sentences, who can create stories, who can listen actively, who use communication actively. That's what we're here for tonight. All right, so let's get it started. My slides, and then we get started. So first of all, let's imagine we have two people. So that's what we're discussing today, communication mastery for kids in 2025, how to achieve it. And before we even get started with the example that I have, I want to ask you a question. How many of us had resolutions before 2024? In December 2023, we had resolutions like, I want to do this, I want to do that. And this is December, we're asking ourselves, what happened? I cannot remember anything. What's happening? What happened to me? I didn't gain that goal that I had. I did not even achieve anything. I started in January, I fell. I wanted to start again in February, I fell, and that was the end of it. How many of you can relate? How many of you can relate? How many of you understand what is happening? Nothing is happening. Should we end the session? I'm not getting anything. No response, no feedback from you. I can relate, yes. Fatima Hassan, she can relate. A lot of people, we have a lot of things to do. We have a lot of goals, like December, I'm going to achieve this, I'm going to achieve that, I'm going to become this, I'm going to become that. And before you know it, this is December, and you're asking yourself, December is very, very fast. Is it still the same 24 hours a day? I did not even, let me just, this year, just let me thank God that I even got here, December. So we can all relate to that, and that's what brings me to the question. Let's take the example of two people, James and Kunle. James and Kunle, and both of them, they have a goal. Let's say James and Kunle, for example, want to become amazing digital marketers, best digital marketers in the world. They've not even conquered Nigeria yet, but they want to become amazing marketers. If you want to bring your business online, James and Kunle want to be that was their plan. That's what they want to achieve in 2025. But James was just praying. James went to the church and, this is resolution. Tomorrow, I want to wake up inside the church when it is January 1st. I want to do this. I want to do that. Everything about praying, and then by God's grace, it is going to happen. And Kunle, on the other hand, aside from prayers, Kunle decided to also do other things. Okay, how many posts am I going to put out on social media every day in order to show my expertise? How many people do I want to reach every day? What are the things do I need to learn? There are certain things we cannot achieve because we've not become that thing. We've not qualified ourselves enough to become those things. You want to become a digital marketer, you do not have the skills yet. You're still learning, and you're already printing flyers. Come buy from me, hire me as a go-to digital marketer. It will not work that way. But Kunle wrote the list of the things. Okay, I need to do this. I need to learn Facebook ads. And for Facebook, if I can master Facebook ads, I can master a lot of other things with regard to marketing. Under Facebook ads, you're going to learn content creation. You're going to learn pixels, how to input your pixels, how to make sure people who see your ads buy, a lot of things under Facebook ads. So Kunle went ahead to master that, and afterwards Kunle started to look for clients. Okay, how do I get started with clients? How do I make sure I have the desired result, that people start asking me to show them how I did the same thing? Kunle. So now tell me, but James was hoping, oh, it is possible for one day, I want one big client from America to just take me, to just hire me. Realistically, with both moves, who do you think will achieve the desired goal? Kunle or James? James or Kunle? Who? Let's see. James praying, Kunle prayers plus strategies, day-to-day things that he is going to do every day throughout December, for example, so that he already becomes that thing before entering 2025. Exactly, Kunle. We all know the answer is Kunle, but many of us, we have wishes like James. We have wishes. We have resolutions for 2025, and we behave like James. We do not have strategy. We're just hoping the Lord of this person, the God of the one that did it for you. No, it doesn't happen that way. You have to work. From the prophets of God, even if you read your religious books, your Quran, your Bibles, your Hadith, you find out that they also work in. They're putting in the work. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, for example, did not just sit at home and expecting people to, all of a sudden they're going to conquer Medina, all of a sudden they're going to have their masjids, all of a sudden a lot of people are going to accept the religion. No. He went out to preach. The same thing for other prophets. Prophet Jesus, you see a lot of biblical verses talking about him going to the mountain, going to the mountains, preaching to people, calling people. They put in the work. Now, you're not the prophet of God. You're not that dear to God. And you feel one of the only strategy you're going to have in order to achieve what you want is, I'll go to the church. Once I get to the church, I start praying. God will now answer my prayer, and there is no other thing that I need to do. It doesn't work that way. So first of all, in order to achieve the things you want to achieve in 2025, there may be a lot aside from helping your kids achieve communication mastery. First of all, you need to renew your mindset. You need to understand that it is what you feed that grows. A sister of mine sent a message to me and told, Abdubaki, what can I do for my social media? I have a TikTok account and I am unable to do a lot of things. I cannot post my link. I cannot do a lot of things because my followers are not up to 1,000 yet. And I told her, when I checked her page, sis, you're not putting in the work. Start posting. Start talking about the things you're doing. Let people follow you. Before you know it, you get 1,000 followers. And not long afterwards, she got someone to make videos for her. And in 2 days, she got to 2,000. That post did not go viral and she still got to 2,000. What changed? She decided to put in the work. So that's the major thing I want you to note. Then there is this strategy that I'm going to break down for you to achieve those goals for your kids with regard to effective communication mastery. And everything can be categorized into the word SMART. Just type SMART in the chat box. SMART, the same SMART that you know, the boy is smart. That same SMART, yeah. Type SMART. SMART, SMART, SMART. Great. SMART. So we're now going to take SMART one by one, and I'll show you how the word SMART can help you achieve what you actually want. Aside from that, aside from helping your kids, this SMART will also help you achieve a lot of the things you want to achieve. For example, we're just about meeting our goals for 2024 at Flying Colors Communications Academy. Why? Because we used SMART, not because we are smart, but because we used SMART. We're just like everybody. My teachers, me, Abdubaki Hassan, the founder, we're just like the everyday people. We're not first class graduates. We're not special, unique people, or people who have different things that other people do not have. No, we're the same people like you. We're not smart, but we used SMART. So now type SMART so I can show you SMART. I can show you how to be smart by using SMART. SMART, yes. So the letter S, it starts with letter S. In English, they call it acronyms. We have different kinds of abbreviations. We have acronyms, we have initialisms. Initialisms, those words where you have to pronounce each letter, like HIV, PDP, APC. Those are initialisms. But for acronyms, acronyms can be pronounced as words. SMART, AIDS, UNICEF, UNESCO, and other kinds of abbreviation. They are under acronyms because you can pronounce them as words. Now let's talk about SMART. So the S stands for specific. Type specific. The S refers to being specific. Specific, yes. What does it mean? What does it mean to be specific? What is the meaning? In language school, we are taught you do not say, so if you're explaining the meaning of specific, for example, you do not say something that is specific. You've still not explained what that is about. So when something is specific, you have to understand that thing. That thing is understood. You cannot get to the space of making something specific, something dedicated, until you ensure that that thing is understood, is comprehensive. You yourself know that thing. So lots of people say, I want to improve my communication skills, for example. But when it comes to, I want to improve my communication skills, that's broad. When we're talking about communication skills, we're talking about a lot of things. We're talking about grammar, we're discussing diction, we're talking about pronunciation, we're talking about public speaking, voice acting, a lot of things, active listening, creative writing, technical writing, grant writing. For writing alone, communication skills, we have 4 basic communication skills: writing, listening, speaking, and reading. Under each of them, you have a lot of things, a lot. Under reading itself, it's a field. Under writing, another field. So you have to break things down to see, what do I need to learn? If you do not understand what you want to achieve, it's not possible for you to achieve it. Let's say, for example, you want to lose weight and you just go to a random application. Google, I want to lose weight. Google tells you, download this app, and you download the app and you started the exercise. It is not only your exercises that will make you lose the weight. Only exercises won't work, but you just got the information, bam, because you don't even understand what you want. I want to lose my weight. Then you need to ask, what do I need to do? What are the things what do I need to do step by step every single day, every single week, in order to achieve what I want to achieve? So if you want your kids to become communication masters in 2025, you need to know the things that they actually need. You need to ask yourself, is it vocabulary development? Whenever my child's my mother have gone out. What kind of have gone out? You do not say you want your kids to improve their communication skills or become communication masters. This kid has the issue of grammar. This kid has the problem of Concord, the rules of Concord. How do you help the kids learn? So some people may say, oh, I want my kids to learn diction. When you test the kid that wants to pronounce well, the grammar is nothing to write home about. The grammar is worse. I want to come and go. So even if you teach the kid how to pronounce words correctly, they're still going to pronounce the words correctly with bad grammar. I want to come and go. That's what they do at the end. The words still not correct, and people still find it difficult to understand what they are trying to communicate. So you have to know, what should I do exactly? What does my child need? What is the problem of this child? And you can get this easily by testing them. You can test their writing, you can test their reading, you can test their speaking, you can test their listening, and get feedback from, you now get the result. A parent contacted me last week and told me, oh my gosh, I went to my child's open day and I realized my child cannot read. And I felt, oh, this woman was just trying to exaggerate things. So I told her, send me a sample of the child's writing. My child cannot write well. That was the complaint. And when she sent it, I saw, oh, this is awful. This is awful. The child is in primary 4 and I cannot read, aside from the topic, A Day in My Life. It wasn't easy for me to read any other thing aside from the topic. So I told the woman, okay, I then asked, the woman wasn't able to pinpoint where the problem was from. That child is in primary 4, and the child has the ability of a child in primary 1, nursery 2. I told the mom, oh, you need to work on this. Then I told her, please place me on a call with your daughter. And during our conversation, I told the daughter, read the sentences. Oh, she started reading. This girl read all those sentences correctly. So she understood what she wrote. So first of all, from there, we can see that this child can read. This child did not write rubbish. Some teachers would have said, oh, this is rubbish. What is all this? Insult. No, let the child read that rubbish. If the child is able to read the rubbish and the rubbish makes sense, it means what the child wrote is actually correct. Then you now need to ask yourself, how do we ensure this kid can spell correctly? Now we are getting it specifically. If that child, for example, just starts with correct pronunciation, the child is not going to get the desired result. So what did we do? I told the child to read, and when the child started reading, I saw the problem was from the child's phonics from elementary stage. As you go on, the child spelled, for example, jog, and instead of J, the child wrote G. And from there I saw, okay, the child was thinking G should be jog, not J. Like, oh, G and J, they can't be, oh, I should be able to use both of them. Both of them should be able to go, G and J. It's, for some child would want to spell knife, K-N-I-F-E, and you see N-A-I-F. That is not rubbish. That, it means you've not done your job as a teacher. It means the parents need to do something. It's not rubbish, it's data. So you need to collect data of your child and then ask yourself, from these data collected, for example, for that child, I told the child to read what she wrote. And from there, I got, okay, this child can read. This child knows what she's writing, but the child cannot spell correctly. It's now easy for us to go from there. That's specific. And now the child is in one of our classes learning how to write and spell correctly. She also struggled with the use of punctuation. Everything was just going, my name is this, I am this, no full stop, no comma, no question mark. So from the writing, we got the data. So when you understand what you want to do, it's easy for it to become specific. Then you also need to be exact. A lot of the things you want to achieve, they may be too much, too many, numerous, that it becomes uneasy, it becomes impractical for you to achieve all of them as one person. You struggled to finish your university, but now you wanted to register for online courses because you saw that the online courses, you can do it at home. You struggled to finish university. Kunle, let me mention a name. That's just a name in case any of you guessed that name. Kunle struggled to finish university, and now Kunle is registering for 10 online courses at the same time. Will Kunle succeed? Kunle isn't a study person, but because I want to learn marketing, I want to learn digital marketing, I want to do data analytics, I want to do let me register for all of them so that in 5 months time or in 2 months time I'm going to become a guru. You're not going to become anything, because each of those fields, digital marketing, your data analytics, data entry, all of them, they are broad. They are broad. You need to be specific. You need to be exact. You need to know, okay, now I want to focus on public speaking. Now I want to focus on diction. I want to so there is a place where you merge all of them without forgetting your goals. For children, for example, it's easy for you to merge all of them for them in a practical way with which they get it. So you have to be exact. You have to know these are the problems, and then you can now see, okay, this is what I want to do first. Sometimes people have problems with the roofing. People have problems with the foundations, and dealing with the roofing. That's the problem. They have problems with the foundation and they want to battle the roofing. What is happening to my house? And the problem is foundational. You have to go to the foundation. Some children, I tell some parents, some children don't need to go to school because of their levels. They need to stay back home, learn those things that a child cannot read. The child is in JSS1. The child cannot read simple sentences. And the child keeps going to school. What's happening? The child cannot study. The child cannot read the notes. The child does not have the ability. What is the essence of going to school? The child needs to stay back maybe a whole term, a whole month, learning how to read, then go back to school. If the child keeps going to school, how do you get the result? So you have to be exact. You have to be clear. If the goals are not clear, it's uneasy for you to achieve it. So you know, what does my child need exactly? My child has stage fright. Okay, I want my child to improve his public speaking skills. My child has issues with tenses. Okay, my child needs to improve grammar. So you need to be specific in order to achieve your goals. So that's for number one, that's specific. The second is the M. Remember, we're talking smarts. Smarts. S-M-A-R-T. So number one is specific. Number two is measurable. You should be able to quantify. You should be able to say, okay, this was where I was last week. This is where I am now. I have issues with grammar. You should be able to say, this week I already learned nouns, and I can identify and differentiate between proper nouns and common nouns. My kid has issues with using punctuation marks. This week you should be able to say, my child can use full stop. My child will never mistake full stop for question mark. So after getting the goals, after setting your goals and making sure the goal is specific, you still need to go further by making sure that goal is measurable. You can measure the goal. You have your result. You have your yardstick, your tool of measurement. It may be different for every person. For example, as business owners, what is success to me may not be success to you. What is, for example, for some people, they want to have a lot of members of staff. Some people want to pepper them on Instagram. All those people that already said I cannot make it, all of them are following me on Instagram. I want to post. For me, I have a lot of successful people in my family. They're helping me. If I get anywhere today, they're the one who sponsored it. For my courses, for my classes, my sisters would call me. How many have registered? I want to pay for 2 people. I want to pay for 10 people. So I have no one to pepper. So there is no pepper in my ingredient of success. So it's different. You yourself now need to say, so some people may be peppering. It doesn't concern you as a person because that's not your own goal. It doesn't concern you as a business owner, for example, because that's not my own goal. For some people, winning awards, nothing to them. For other people, they want to win awards. It's fine. For some people, it's about the money they're making. It's not about any other thing. For other people, they want to buy stuff. They want to buy cars, even if they do not need those things. For example, I do not need cars because most of the time I'm indoors teaching, doing courses, making videos. I do not need a car. If I have a car, I may be using that car maybe once in a month. For another person, the person needs to have a car for branding so that when the person gets there with the car, they know this person is a person of substance. If they wanted to talk 50K with him before, they may start talking 500K. So that person needs a car for his or her business. So you need to have your own tool. If when your child doesn't understand grammar, another child is presenting on TV, the child presents so fluently, and you start telling your child, I'm a bit here. Children like you, can't you see them? Can't you see the way they are doing? Can't you see people like you? It's not the child's fault. It's level by level. The exposure that the parents of that kid gave the kid, you did not give that to your child. So you're not the same thing. Did you give your child the opportunity to present on TV and the child did not say anything? So that's not even by the way. So you need to know your goals and know how to measure your goals. Know, okay, am I successful? Know how to say, okay, I'm here. Okay, for example, you can say, I want to improve my public speaking skills. And then you tell yourself, okay, I'll know that I have improved when I start talking to people in public. I want my child to improve his presentation skills. I am going to confirm that he is doing well when we go out and he stops all this. So I want to enter the ground whenever he wants to introduce himself to his friends. When he starts talking without when he starts telling stories in his speeches, when he starts representing his schools, you have your yardstick, you have your practice ground. You need to create, for example, at Online Kiddie School, we create audiences for them. Like tell your dad, your mom, your neighbors to stay right in front of you and present in front of them. Maybe they could not do it before, but we wanted the parent to measure. When the child came in, this was what the child could do. And right now, the child is doing better. Oh, for me, for some children, they cannot look into the eyes of the audience when they are presenting. It's just like, let me finish this presentation on stage and leave this space. That is a defect. So you can have the tool, that yardstick of, okay, when my child starts looking into the eyes of the members of the audience while speaking, whenever he speaks to people, the child looks into the eyes, talks to those people confidently. That's when I get to know that, oh, my child is really, really doing well with regard to public speaking. So you have to measure as you go. No matter what you want to achieve, you need to know, okay, you want to memorize a book, for example, a book of 20 pages. Oh, after one page, how do you measure that you're actually growing? Once you finish one page, try to give the book to someone and read out everything. Ask that person to check. That way you're saying, oh, before now I couldn't do that, now I can do that. So you need to always measure. Do not just wait after 3-4 months to ask yourself, what have you achieved? You need to put things in place every week, every day, every month. Know, how do I measure my success and confirm that I am actually successful with regard to achieving this? Are we still together? Are we still together? Just type together. I want us to finish this as soon as possible. Then you ask your questions. Are we still together? Type together. Great. Now, we already studied SMART. The S for specific, the M for measurable, and now the A is for achievable. Achievable. You need to ask yourself, can I achieve this thing? Is it real? Is it realistic? You need to ask yourself the question, do I have the resources and capabilities to achieve it? For example, you want to make 1 million naira every month throughout 2025. 1 million naira every single month, back to back 2025. You need to ask yourself, what are you making in 2024? What are you making? You're making 50K in 2024, and all of a sudden you want to go to 1 million. What are you going to do? Are you going to steal? You need to ask yourself, what skill do I need to have? What do I need to do? Okay, do I need to improve my marketing? Am I going to start running Facebook ads? Who are the people that are doing this? What do they have? What are they doing extraordinarily? Why are they doing what? Why are theirs different? Why are they doing why are they making what I actually want to make? What are they doing exactly? What do I need to do in order to be like them? So you need to ask, is it realistic? So we're not talking about luck now. Someone just gives you 1 million naira, all of a sudden you just won. We're talking about how you yourself as a person decide. When you yourself as a person decide to own yourself, own your success, you need to ask yourself your mindset in this environment that you are, with what you currently know. Are the goals achievable for my children? Can I make them communication masters? Can I help them sail through the journey? What kind of schools do they go? There are some people here, and we know a lot of parents who already know that the schools that their kids are currently attending, that those schools are not working. But my friend is the owner of the school. That was what was recommended to me by my in-law, and I cannot say no to them. That was the school where I graduated from, and we need to help the course. We know a lot of people like that, and you already know they have a lot of defects. They have a lot of things not going on well with them, with regard to structure, with regard to education. But you still kept pushing. So that kind of school, for example, cannot help your kid achieve the desired goals. It's not realistic for you to think it's just going to happen all of a sudden. So you need to check all these things. Let's say you want your kids to become effective public speakers, for instance. Okay, I cannot help my kids achieve that because as a parent, you yourself, you're not fluent when it comes to public speaking. You also have stage fright. You cannot help another person. You don't know the experience. You don't know what to say. You don't know how to guide them. You need to now say, okay, do I need to invite someone else? Does someone need to help us with it? Do we need to have an extra hand? Do I need to hire an expert? Do we need to start watching YouTube videos of public speaking experts? So that way it now becomes, okay, it's not achievable before, but now with the way things are going, it's getting achieved. It's going to be achieved. That's amazing. For example, when I started to hear about grants, that what I knew before was loan, and anything loan, I don't even want to listen. You get money from them, you give them collateral. If you're not able to pay up, they take your land, and also interest. My beliefs do not support interest. Interest rates, you have to pay 2%. Anything loan, I didn't want to hear until I started to hear about grants, about fundraising, that there's certain individuals, certain establishments, certain organizations who are ready to give you money, thousands of dollars. They're ready to give you. I was thinking, they just give you. I didn't still believe. I think it wasn't achievable because of my limited mindset. So I saw one of my role models. She got it. She won $100,000. I felt, wow, this thing is true. She won another. My friends were winning. So I decided, okay, let me also try one. I saw a form. They didn't even indicate the amounts they were going to give us. I just typed, I filled in the form. I got the invite. This thing is true. I got there. They asked us questions. I answered mine. I scored 195. The second person scored 160. And at the end, I was told I won 300,000. So this thing is real. Now that already expanded my mindset because I tried. Now I'm looking for more grant opportunities, more fundraising opportunities in order to pump them into the operations of my academy. So do you see, from your mindset, you have to do something in order to achieve something. You don't just wish. I was wishing that someone should just give me money to market. Someone should just give me money to pay this TV station. And when I started to work, I saw, when I started to put in the work, filling in forms, entering, making the videos, I saw, okay, this is how you actually get those things. This is how you actually achieve those things. So it's the same thing for all goals. Now, the fourth one. We've already studied S for specific, M for measurable, A for achievable. It needs to be what? It needs to show that you can achieve it. Then number 4 is to be realistic. You have to be realistic. What does it mean? You have to be realistic. You have to think about it yourself, based on time, based on your habits, based on the relevance of what you want to achieve. Is it possible for you to achieve it? Some people would say, can you just brush me up for 2 days and everything? No, it doesn't work that way for some things. There's certain things you can learn them in 30 minutes. For example, how to design landing pages. A friend of mine came to my room when I was in Akure, and I told him, it seems you know how to design landing pages. And he replied in the affirmative, yes, I can design landing pages. Teach me. I'm not going to spend, I have somewhere, please teach me this thing. He sat down, he opened Elementor, and he started. So you just drag and drop, just like designing on CorelDRAW or using Canva. Drag and drop, use button. These are the options. And in a couple of minutes, I did the same. I created a page, and that was mine. So for some things, you can learn them in a couple of hours, in 30 minutes. For other things, you need time. You need to change yourself. For example, you've never been to the gym before. You do not exercise, and now you want to start exercising. It is not realistic for you to think that you're going to start going to the gym every day, every single day, without there being a break, without there being a structure. You need to have massive structure before you do certain things every day, because you did not grow inside that thing. You did not grow doing that thing. So it's going to be uneasy for you to just think, I'm going to enter this thing and start doing it. I'm going to enter this thing and start achieving it. No. You give it time. You start to groom it. Okay, how do I achieve it? Do I need to have an accountability partner? Is there someone that I respect? Anything he says I need to do? Do I need to pay my gym instructor every morning? Carry me. Come to my space and carry me. Let's go there every single day, and I'll pay you for that. Do not miss your day. Do I need to start telling people, I'm going to pay you if I do not achieve this? I'm going to lose this thing if I do not do this. You need to make sure you make it realistic. Do not just say it. Start to ask yourself, is it realistic? And how relevant is it? So for example, you want your kids to become an effective public speaker. And you need to tell that kid, you need to start practicing by talking to multitudes of people at least once in 2 weeks. Do not just master that by staying in front of people and talking to them, impressing them. You need to start step by step. Every 2 weeks, once in every 2 weeks, make sure you're standing in front of your schoolmates, for example, talking to them, saying anything to them. Just create the audience for the kids. You need to work on creating the audience for the kids. I tell people, create audience. If you do not have people, because for a lot of people, they start practicing their public speaking when they get the letter. We are inviting you to this, then Tito Abdubaki, I heard that you teach people how to do effective communication and public speaking. Next week I have an event. Please help me. I'm going to pay. No, it's not about payments now. It's tomorrow. And you want to become the guru today. You need to do them. In order to be realistic, you need to do those things regularly, until those things become part of you. For example, this wasn't how smooth my first live session was. my first live session on Facebook, I was just wondering, a lot of people are watching me. Oh, I hope I am not making mistakes. So I hope. So I was just rushing through everything. But now I'm more relaxed. Why? Because for every live session, I would ask myself, what did I do well? What do I need to work on? People also give me feedback. Next time, do this. It would have been better if you gave time for questions and answers. It would have been so good if we got this access. If it had been ask questions, let people also do not just stop. From there, I took the feedback. The next ones, I began to grow. But for some people, they just want everything to happen, bam. And when it fails to happen, they feel, oh, this is not me. This cannot work for me. I cannot do this. I cannot achieve this. So for your kids, do not be that kind of person who, since all this while that I have been spending money on you, wasting money on you to be able to write well, you still cannot achieve anything. Ask yourself, how realistic is that goal? For some parents, you want your kids to become medical doctors. But now they're struggling. They're in primary 4 and they're struggling with calculation. You're not doing anything. Do you think that child will be confident enough to go for sciences when they get to SSS level? So you have to be practical. You have to, okay, you're a future medical doctor. That's what that's the goal we've set for you. In order to achieve this thing, these are the things that you need to do. These are the things that you need to go through. I want my kids to be confident. But when you and that child go anywhere, when you visit anybody, when they ask the child a question, you want to answer all the questions. You're not giving the child the opportunity to express. And you want it to just happen, bam. So you have to be very, very realistic. And that's why you see a lot of intentional families. You see that they're putting in a lot. When you get to their houses, you already know what they're interested in. Because from the frames on the wall, to the wallpapers, to the way the rooms of their kids are decorated, to the way they converse with the kids, to the kind of conversations they hold inside that home, you already know, oh, this is what this family is all about. This is what they like. This is what they are going to achieve. And you keep seeing some families. How many of you know doctors who have doctors as children? I know a lawyer who has 3 lawyers as his children. How many of you can relate? Lawyers and doctors, they usually have children that are lawyers and doctors. Just type doctors, lawyers in the chat box if you get what I'm trying to say. Doctors, lawyers. Doctors, lawyers. Okay, Sudais, Mr. Sudais can relate. Because they've gone through that path, and now it's now realistic for them to say, I want my child to become the same. They know what to do. They know how to go about it. They know the subject. They know the courses. They know the selection. Every day inside the house, they have newspapers around them for lawyers. The kids are updated. They know all the nitty-gritty of what they want them to become. But for other people, it's just about, you're not a doctor, you want your child to become a doctor. It requires a level of being realistic and intentionality. A level of intentionality before you help that child achieve that. It's not just by shouting or wishing or, hey, you this guy, you are not reading. A lot of things go. A mother told me, for example, recently that whenever it's time to read, that the child finds reading as a boring activity. And I told the mother, it depends on how you made reading appear to them right from childhood. I have 2 boys, they don't like reading. Whenever I want them to read, they usually see it as though they want to do something very, very big. And I told her, it's because of how you groomed them. For some people, for some households, when it's time to read, you hold a cane. Oh yeah, start reading. So if they grow into that, they start to see, when they see anything reading, they remember canes. When they see anything reading, they remember punishment. They remember canes. That's psychologically. So they've already seen reading plus punishment as the same. So when they're free, you do not expect them to just read. So I told this woman, a lot of children will never read their notebooks. But when they see storybooks, they're interested. Why? Because they're interested in that story, but they're not interested in what is marketing, the 5 types of marketing, because they see that as work. You have to memorize that, you have to cram that, you have to pour the same thing to the teacher. No fun, nothing enjoyable. So you have to make sure your goals are realistic. Let's move to the next prompt. We've already studied the SMART. The S is for specific, M is for measurable, A is for, what is for A? Remind me. A is for achievable, R is for realistic, and then T is for time bound. For everything you want to achieve, you need to give it exact timing. What do I mean? You want to make, before the end of 2025, for example, a business owner may decide, I want to make 12 million naira. Before the end of 2025, my goal is to make 12 million naira. That is an amazing goal, right? Some people may say 120 million naira, depending on the existing traction. Some people may say mine is 1.2 million. I want to make 100,000 naira every month. Some people may say I want to make 10 million naira every month. So at the end of the month, I have 120 million naira. Some people just say I want to become a millionaire. No, you need to have you need to make sure everything is time bound. For January, what am I going to sell? How am I going to sell it? Where do I make my most sales? How do I push in my effort in order to increase that thing? You need to make sure it's time bound. After week one, January, you need to ask us, am I getting there? Week 2, week 3, you need to make sure you give it exact timing. So instead of, you this kid, I want you to achieve this, you have not achieved it. You need to say, I want my child to become an effective public speaker. I will know that I have achieved that goal after my child has been able to speak fluently during his presentation at the end of the year party on March 12, 2023. Exact date. You need to be time bound. You need to be bound by time. Because before you know it, a lot of people, most times, we usually fall into the illusion that, we have time. It is still January now. Nobody should pressure me. Before we know it, February. All of a sudden, March, April, May, June. And you see yourself, you've not achieved anything. So in order to make sure your kids are communication masters, ensure that the goal that you have for them, that specific goal that you already have for them is time bound. In 1 week, your child can master all the major punctuation marks. In the second week, they can master the rules of Concord. So do you need to draw the syllabus for them? How do you make sure what they've learned in January is still connected to what they're going to be learning in February? How do you make sure that they've learned a lot of things before March? How do you connect the dots? How do you ensure that they gain what you actually want them to gain? So you need to make sure it is time bound. And that is the end of our SMART. How many of you enjoyed the session? Have you learned? Did you find it educative? Did you find it worth it? So the S is for specific, the M is for measurable, the A is for achievable, the R is for, what's the R? Sometimes the R is for being realistic. You have to be realistic. And the T is time bound. You need to bound it by time. You need to make sure you give it the time, the required time, the desired time. And that is all for today. I wanted to be through at 10 p.m. and this is already 10 p.m. But before we leave, I want to give you extra. You also need to ask your goals, the goals that you have for your children in order to make them communication masters. You ask the goals WH questions. In grammar, they are the who, WHO, what, WHAT, where, WHERE, when, WHEN, why, WHY. So there are 5 in number. Who, what, where, when, why. Please type that before I go in detail. Type the questions that you need to ask your goals. We have who, what, where, when, why, and how. Who, what, where, when, and why. Those are the questions you need to ask your goals in order to make sure your kids are. So how do you use who? For example, you need to ask who wants to improve their communication skills. Who is going to teach my kids in order to help us gain these results? For what? You can say, what do I want to achieve? What do I want to accomplish? What is going to be my end result? So if you want to solve any problem, just take that problem and start asking your WH questions. Oh, where do I need to be? Where does my child need to go in order to achieve this goal? Where does he need to be? Where does he need to take the classes? Where does he need to go to the classes? Where does he need to practice? For when? When do I want to achieve this goal? When do I know I have gotten and achieved this aim of mine? For why? Why do I want to achieve it? Is it even reasonable in the first place? Is it required? Is it relevant to the person I want to become tomorrow? Is it relevant to what my child is going to achieve tomorrow? You also need to ask how. Sometimes you include the how. How do I help my kid achieve this? How do I help them go further? How do I move them to the next level? And so on and so forth. So your problems, your goals, in order to ensure that your kids become communication masters. You can ask WH questions, and you can also use the SMART methodology. SMART, S for specific, SMART, M for measurable, A for, what is A? Sometimes I get confused as well. So achievable. R is realistic. T is time bound. You need to give it time and measure that time. Make sure you keep into that time, because time is a very, very important factor. Sometimes it's not even money. Sometimes you have money. As a business owner, for example, you have money, but what you want to achieve, you can never achieve it at that time because of what you sell. It's not its period. And other times, even if you don't do any marketing, because that period ordinarily things sell. For example, during Christmas, this is Christmas period, a lot of things start to sell. Dresses for children, chicken, a lot of people want to buy chicken, rice. People want to buy those things. It's season. For other times when you want to sell baby dresses, you may need to go further. But other times you just need to open your shop. Don't do any marketing. People would come inside because they're coming to the market to shop for dresses in order to make their kids look beautiful on Christmas Day. So time bound. Time is very, 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 very important. It's an important factor. When does my child need to take the class? When does my child go there? How do I ensure the time is enough? How do I manage the time? And for some parents, they already have a lot of things for their children. It's uneasy for them to help them achieve anything. That's just the truth. A lot of things. The one child is in the swimming lesson. The same child goes for dancing. The same child after the dancing. Throughout the day, the child is working and has about maybe 3 to 4 hours to sleep. And then you go to school. After school, that's a lot for the child to achieve anything tangible. Most of the time the child becomes so overwhelmed with a lot of things. So you need to make sure the time is well managed. They still have the time to rest as well, so they become total children. They become the complete children that you actually want. You don't want a child that always you already see some kids and you can see trauma. You see them, you see trauma. They cannot speak. They're not free with people. They have trust issues because of the things that they grew into. It's always about being busy there and there. They're not organized because of where they grew up. So you want to make sure you have the complete child, not just a child that is brilliant, a child that speaks well, but a child that can also contribute meaningfully to the society, a child that can solve conflicts, a child that brings peace, and lots more. So that's the end of my session today. Thank you very, very much for joining. And this is to officially inform you that our AWOOF annual promo is now live. So you can, the AWOOF annual promo, I have an online kiddie school. For those of you who are just joining my class for the first time, I have an online kiddie school where I teach children. It's online. So we have children from about 15 different countries, different parts of the world, and from the feedback we get, oh my gosh, it's amazing. People in the first tier countries like the UK, the US, Saudi Arabia, and countries that really take care of their kids, their children's education, And they tell me, oh my gosh, what they're learning in your school, much more than what they're learning in the actual school that they attend when it comes to effective communication. So the school is not about mathematics. We do not do science. We go there when we want them to present, because global exposure is one of the things that we teach them. But the school is not about those things specifically. It's about presentation mastery. It's about grammar. It's about clear diction. It's about elocution. It's about confidence mastery. Things concerning language proficiency and effective communication skills. Those are the things that we teach in that school. So in that school, we have used the SMART methodology in order to form the syllabus of what the kids are going to be learning from 2025 January till the end of 2025 December. Each month, it's so amazing that each month they have something specific that the presentations are going to be about. They have food and nutrition, they have peace and conflict studies, they have combating terrorism, they have the girl child as a topic, a lot of things, a lot of themes and topics that they need to talk about, that they need to present, that they need to study. And every single month, they read a book at least, one book at least. For the kids in the Jolly class, 4 to 5, they do poems. So they present, they use their poems, they do drama with the poems. So every single month for other classes, they read a book specifically. So we've done the WH question analysis. We've used the SMART methodology in order to bring the syllabus, the studies together, ready for your children. And what we now need, we need kids, because it's a subscription-based school, right? You can pay for 1 month, 4 months, 6 months, and 12 months. So what many people do, what some parents may do sometimes is they come for 1 month. I want the kids to do something. They have registered him in one computer school, programming, so the child may not be able to join you next month. Oh, after 2 months, they bring the child back. So the learning is disconnected. So we are now calling for parents who want us to handle their kids from January 2025 till the end of 2025, December. And the most interesting thing is we're not even asking you to bring the whole money. We're giving you almost 50%. So you're paying for 6 months. When you pay for 6 months, we give you 6 months for free. However, if you're here live with me, if you joined me live and you're still here till date, you have my gift. I'm going to give you a special gift, a special package. So the school is for children between 4 and 17, and we have 4 classes. Jolly class 4 and 5, grader class, I think 6 to 8 and on, yeah. We have Jolly, we have grader, we have high, we have middle. Those are the 4 classes that we have. So as I was saying, if you're still here with me, I have an amazing package for you. I have a gift for you, special gift, because you stayed till the end. Let me see if it's possible for me to type in the, yes, chat box. Okay, yeah, it's possible. It's possible. Just click on that link. You get the details once you enter the pin. Okay, I've pinned it on Facebook. Let me also do the same on Telegram. Let me do the same on Telegram. Telegram, my people on Telegram, you've been so active. Just give me time. So if you're a parent, just click on the link right away. Click on the link right away. I already pinned the link as well on Telegram, and take action before the deadline in order to get the gift from me. Yeah, so I already pinned it. Just click on the link. So you know this is AWOOF promo. That is AWOOF extra, like AWOOF Pro Max kind of package. So when you click on the link, you'll get access. Do what you have all the guides there. Just follow the guides, and that is all. So if you have any question for me, do let me have your question. Before we say goodbye, do let me have your question. Do you have any question for me with regards to anything I've said, or you have other questions concerning effective communication or your child's education? do let me know before we say goodbye. You're welcome, Mr. Sudais. Madam Monsurat Adidiji, you're welcome. Any other question? Madam Hanat Lawal, you're welcome. You're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right, since we have no question, you can always reach out to me on my WhatsApp or Telegram or Facebook inbox. No problem, I'll be there to answer your questions if you want to get the package. So we're going to, the deadline for the AWUF annual promo is December 21st. Once it's December 21st, we close the section, we close the promo, the bonus. So if you have anyone, and the price now goes, but when you buy your 6 months, you get 6 months. You can still come and buy the online. So one amazing thing about the online kiddie school is the more your children, the less your fee. You're not going to be paying, for example, for one kid for 1 month is 20,000 naira. You aren't going to be paying 60,000 naira for 3 children. You have discount. You are not going to be paying 40,000 naira for 2 children for 1 month. You're going to have discount. And the longer the duration as well, the lower the fee. You're going to be paying for 3 months if you want to go for 4 months. You pay for 4 months if you want to go for 6 months. But this time, Antonia Agbogo Otegbalo. The reason I didn't talk about the exact fees is because it is so diverse. If you have 1 child, it's different from the payment for 2 children, 3 children, 4 children, 5 children. So it's not the same. So you have to click on that link, the link tagged there, that Telegram link, in order to, since you joined till the end, you click on the link to get the extra. You're going to get all the details. I already wrote it there. 1 kid if you want to get the AWUF annual promo. 2 kid. I gave you some. Oh, sorry. I don't want to talk about the AWUF extra here, so that people who are going to miss it aren't going to be asking me, I hear that you gave some people, so I don't want them to know what I'm giving you. It's like a mystery gift. So just click on the link and get there. Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Kenny O, for joining as well. All right. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone. Antonia, Golibat, Fola, Oladimeji, Oyedoku Monisola, thank you all for joining me. I am Deep. Oyedoku Monisola, thank you for joining me till the end. Surajudeen, thank you so much. Bolanle Bilikisu. And next week, we are going Shabi Kafilat, welcome. Next week, Saturday, some parents also reached out to me. I want us to talk about how we can teach our children how to read well within a short period. So on Saturday, 9 p.m., I will be here again to have another session with you for free, of course. So if you're interested in the AWUF, click on the link. If you're interested in getting your kids into online kiddie school, this is the best time. This is the biggest of all our promos. So click on the link and take action. Success at your fingertips, everyone. Thank you. Bye.